All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Dr. Cheryl Meyer, and I'm a psychologist in my day job. And today we are going to talk about, I was meditating sort of on the way here, and I got this incredible thing from Eckhart Tolle's book on the power of now, on relationships. But this is about relationships, all your relationship with yourself, with divine love, aka God, with other people, with you have a relationship with your work, you have a relationship with school, with your children, with whoever you're relating with the world. And I really think that once you learn this skill, this technique, then it will help you in every addiction that you didn't know you had in your life. So I don't want you to I don't want to make you feel bad, but it's important to know that sometimes we're addicted and we don't even realize. I didn't realize how many things I was addicted to, because they're like like someone can be addicted to work and they're working all the time and they're rewarded from it. Everyone's like, oh, look how high you got up in your company, or you built your own business or whatever, and it doesn't matter that you're working 15 hours a day, or whatever. I know, actually, like I met some pastors' kids, and over the years, because I'm a PK, I'm a psychiatrist kid. But their dads were just working so much. It was father pastors. I mean, I'm sure their mothers ones now, but that I had met. And so it's like, what happens is the person, you can get such a high from like taking care of everybody else's problems. I know this as a psychologist. If you get your identity from that, and you guys know this from people online that get their identity from likes, from shares, or whatever, you know what I mean? Views, whatever. It's our society rewards that. And so the people that I was thinking of, the kids got really neglected and were a giant mess. Not to judge anybody, but because their parents were so busy doing mission work or whatever, that they weren't taking care of their own kids. And so you can have people, it's easy for people that call themselves spiritual or religious to be like, oh, I'm a vegan, like those people eat meat, they're so bad, or those people do this, they're so bad, they drink, they smoke, whatever. And it's just like, you're regulating your emotions by watching TV all the time when you get home from work or whatever. Or sometimes people will just keep trying, to go to spiritual highs and just sing. Now, there's nothing wrong with feeling worship music or something, but to me, sometimes it was just off-putting for a while there, because people, anyway, we'll get to it, but we'll get to the skill. Okay, so let's read the quote. I won't go into all of that. That's off the track, but just watch. Notice how you self-regulate by scrolling on your phone instead of being in quiet. See, what I'm going to talk about here. Watch. Okay. So here's what I wrote this in the middle of a movie. I was like listening. I'd already seen the movie. Anyway, I'd already seen the movie. So I was listening to the Audible, The Power of Now. I have 49 hours of a class that I created on teaching from a psychologist perspective how to apply this book to your life. And so that's all there. So we're going to just talk in a few short minutes on this, but it was so important that I was like, wait, I got to keep rewinding this and writing it in the dark, right? And so it says, I don't know if you can read that, but every addiction is an unconscious refusal to face and move through your own pain. That's Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, on the chapter on enlightened relationships. I think it's 7. Anyway, so just understand that for a second, because to me that was so profound. Every addiction is an unconscious refusal. You're not aware of, you think, oh, these addictions are nothing, I could stop these any minute. These aren't, addictions. I don't have a gambling addiction. I don't have a TV addiction. I don't have like, watch what happens when you put down your phone for 2 hours in a different room. Watch. Because I went to a 3.5 day, almost 4, silent retreat, and I wasn't meant to be on my phone, and I didn't bring a clock, and so I had to look at my phone to know sometimes when to go somewhere. But finally I was just like, forget it, I will walk all the way down to the kitchen and look at the clock on the wall, because it's better not to keep reaching for my phone. I didn't realize how often I'd just be like, oh, but I just need it for this, just that, because you do use it for a lot of things. I understand that. But set it down and watch what happens. Okay, so watch. Every addiction is an unconscious, so you're not conscious of it, that goes under this iceberg, all right? Here's the top of the iceberg sticking out, and then all of the other stuff is underwater. That's what they taught us about your unconscious, your subconscious. Your subconscious, you're not aware of it. And so every addiction is an unconscious refusal to face and move through your own pain. So a lot of us don't even realize we're carrying a lot of pain. Now, lucky for me, I had a ghosted experience where I was ghosted by someone that I really cared for and loved. And I was really surprised by it, and it took me off guard. And what it did was it broke through all of this stuff that I had covering up my pain that was way underneath, that I didn't know I was numbing myself by. I was numbing myself maybe with lethargy, with just sitting. Even though I worked out every day back then, still too, I suddenly, after all of that, after I cried a lot, lost 45 pounds, or I don't know how many pounds, but I went from a size 12 to a size 2 or 4. Anyway, and I've kept that off for over 2 years. But so what happens is we have a pain body. We have pain underneath from childhood. Let's say our parents, didn't mirror back to us love. And so, like, if you're a child and you're wanting this love, and your parents just mirror back coldness, or sometimes warmth and love, sometimes there's just super busy or whatever they're doing, numbing themselves from their pain, you don't feel this closeness. You want closeness. Well, if they're numbing and they don't realize they're numbing their own pain, then you don't feel that closeness. And so the message to you by their actions, not on purpose, this is unconscious on their part, is that mostly unconscious, some people do, but it's like, is that you're not worth presence. You're not worth deep intimacy. You're not worth the closeness that you crave. And so you learn to shut down this part of yourself. It's like, no, you're not allowed to have that. You're not allowed to have closeness. You can't. If you reach for that, you reach for me from miles away. There's a song by Everything But the Girl that goes like that. I can't remember the name right now, but I love them. They're great. And so you reach for that, and then it keeps getting shut down, and you're getting the cold face. If you want to understand that, watch my video on From Ghosted to Enlightened. You'll feel so much love, because I learned how to do these emojis in that, because I edited it and put this heart, and it just keeps coming out on you like the sunshine. It's so amazing. It's like new technology or something that was just given to me in the moment of that. But underneath that, the first comment on my YouTube, if you're watching this somewhere else, go to my YouTube and subscribe there. I invite you to. And so I'm just blocking someone else so they're not in my video. Okay, they're gone. So on the first comment that I penned on that has this thing called the still face experiment. And it's really hard to watch. I don't recommend it to everybody, but it shows how we get wounded in early childhood. It's this mom that did for a minute, just being still-faced and not mirroring back this love and warmth to her little baby. And then the baby just gets all confused. And so we learn that at an early age, we just shut down, hide that pain, get this message internally that we're not allowed to ask for closeness and you're not allowed to have intimacy. So you learn all you can do is have addictions, go get highs, because you miss that high feeling of being loved, of being held like a baby, or being in the womb. We felt that love, you know, being in the sunshine. That's what I always love, the sun, right? Let's see if we get it. Whatever. Not whatever. There it is. And so I almost went outside, but then I just wanted to show you guys this piece of paper too. I'm just getting messages all the time right now, so I'm like trying to filter what's best to talk to you guys about, because I'm in this quiet place. And so I created this on the way. All right, so let's see if you guys can feel this, see this. Stop thinking, instead listen lovingly. All right, still. If you're speaking a different language, it's the word stillness, so you'll understand. Still. Stay still. Learn how to be still. There's a verse that says, be still and know that I am God. But the problem is, okay, so let's see why it's so hard for us to be still. Because it was so hard for me to be still on the way here, knowing that I was planning on making this video talking to you guys about every addiction is an unconscious refusal to face and move through your own pain. So why don't we face it? Look at our face. Is because we didn't get someone mirroring back. It's going to be okay. I love you. I love you. I hold you. What I longed for the most, and I didn't know why, is someone to just hold me. Just hold me and be like, you're worth holding. You're worth holding. I don't have to like try to like get something sexually or something like that. That's just what a woman in our collective consciousness has to deal with. We have to just, you know, burn through that. That's part of the healing of the collective consciousness of all females in this world. And so it's just like someone that just cares enough about you, you know, just like a baby, you just care and you want to hold them and reflect back to them how much they're worth loving and cherishing. And it's like your body aches for that, you know? And so I understand that. And so who wants to get in touch with that, right? You know, if it's not going to be there, you know, I got a weighted blanket. That was like a miracle, because I had been praying about this. Like I tell you, there was some weighted blanket on sale at Target at the end. And I was like, what is this? And I'm like, this is heavy. I wonder, oh, but it was like Sherpa. I mostly got it because it was just going to be warm. And then I was like, oh, this feels like someone's holding you, right? And I'm not saying it as a substitute, like don't ever be in relationships again or seek that because you can just get a weighted blanket. I'm not saying run away from life and relationships to these things, but like bless God, thank God, the divine love when these kinds of things show up for us, because, you know, God knew that I wasn't planning to take any kind of shortcut to go get that by selling out in some kind of way. I got, anyway, you learn from your mistakes. That was a mistake. And so you learn from the burn, you know, and a different kind of burn. I was just reading this morning, I think it was so weird. It stood out to me. It was last night or this morning. It was like John the Baptist was saying, I think it was this morning, it says, you know, and someone's coming that's greater than me, and he will baptize with the Holy Spirit. I baptize you with water, you know, a washing away of your old and coming back new. This person, which he was talking about Christ, will wash you with the Holy Spirit and with fire. And I'm like, oh yeah, I know about that. Like I saw the fire emoji symbol right away, because if you yield to this, then, and go into the stillness, right? If you stop thinking, and you can't stop thinking, just stop. Just be still and stop giving your attention to the thinking, right? So I'm teaching you how to do this. The thinking will be there. The thoughts are there. You are the observer of the thoughts. So here's the stillness. I see my thinking. You know, we can say, see your thinking, or stop identifying, getting caught up in your thinking. And instead of doing that, listen lovingly, okay? So we just assume we're going to get a punch in the face, or we're going to get rejected again, or whatever is going to be in that stillness. That silence is really scary for us. Why do you think we keep reaching for our phone and scrolling and scrolling? I invite you to stay on this. Go to YouTube if you're somewhere else. Anyway, I always say that if I happen to see it at 15. So welcome everyone else here for the rest of this. Is if you dare, right, to sit in the stillness, then what you'll find is this pain that Eckhart Tolle was talking about. You'll face your own pain. But in that, you're giving yourself an opportunity to reflect divine love, which is be still and know this. God knows. See, God is love, right? It says that in 1 John 4. Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of God, and everyone that loves is born of God and knows God, because God is love. When you love not, you know not God. When you're in this vibration of actually unconditional loving and accepting and forgiving and bringing in, and holding, then you're knowing how God is, because God is love, right? So hold on. Excuse me. You're experiencing Godness. God is love. So you're experiencing how God always is. So God is not afraid to say to us, be still and know that I'm God, because God knows when you choose to actually be still, first, all this pain will surface. And I'm not saying it's easy to get through that. I'm not saying that's easy, but you're worth it. Were you worth it when you were a little baby? If you had a little baby right now, I have 2 boys and I lost one in a miscarriage, a baby. And so if you had a baby right now, wouldn't that baby be worth you sitting through in the stillness, getting through, letting your pain be purged out and burnt out of you so that you could be present with the baby and be loving and not be afraid of intimacy? Like, that baby girl, that baby boy is worth it. You're worth that same thing. And so God is bold. Divine love is bold, but knows, just like I always say, like, look at these trees. Look at the wind that was just blowing through this tree, right? See that? That's like, we are animated, right? We are souls in a human body. We're given this human body. And so know that you are animated and you are consciousness. You are this God stuff. You're made out of the God stuff, which is love. And so I'm just getting this revelation right now. We keep thinking, when we first are still, we stop ruminating. See, sometimes we go and we create a bunch of drama in our lives unconsciously because we always want the drama in our heads. And the egotism loves having a problem because it wants to be thinking about a problem all the time. Because if you remove that and you're just in stillness, right? If you know yourself beyond your name, beyond your skin color, beyond your identified religion, beyond your gender, beyond your age, who is this isness? My name, they call me, is Cheryl or Dr. Cheryl, but Meyer, whatever. It's just like, who am I as my isness? Who was I in my isness as a baby before I got shut down and rejected, before you got mishandled, Take a breath. as this isness before you call yourself your name, you know, before you call a bird, you know, 3 little birds perched by my doorstep, singing sweet songs, a melody pure and true. That's Bob Marley. This is my message to you. Sing and don't worry about a thing. I won't keep singing it because it's his song, but every little thing is going to be all right. That's what you find out when you're quiet. When you quiet and you face your pain and you face it and you move through your own pain. Every addiction is an unconscious refusal to face and move through your own pain, right? And so it's just like, and as long as we are in addiction, we're not being intimate with other people, with our children, with ourselves, with our partners. If you're married, we're not being present, you know? We're not. Because it's easier to get a high from watching a funny TV show and watching the drama of other made up people or real shows or whatever than facing. And a lot of it I'm seeing right now. When I went rappelling. So here's the mountain, right? And that first step when you're right here and you have to go from here to here and the ropes around you like this, it's kind of like this. You're sitting and then you have to sit back, right? This is you, this is your head. You have to sit back and start rappelling down the mountain. And it's just that first step. And if you think about it so much, you're like, oh, I almost cussed. I'm like, nope, I'm not going to do that. Heck no, whatever. I'm not going to do that, because your fear comes in. But in 1 John 4 as well, where it's still talking about the vibration of God is love, and be still and know, it says that elsewhere, but it's like when you actually love people, you know God. And so there are moments still where we go beyond our pain and we know ourselves as this, like when a child is born, you're like, yes, I just love, like it breaks through all of that pain somehow and you just love, But sometimes it's that fear of that first step. Oh yeah, it said in 1 John 4, it's like perfect love casts out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. You think you're going to be punished with rejection. But start learning how to be still. Stop investing in your thinking and instead listen lovingly. Listen, trusting. This is what faith is about. You're building a faith that love will shine through that, and love will teach you and remind you how to love again, and that you are always worth loving. Always. And every little thing is going to be all right. It's about getting to that place and facing your own pain. And no one can make you do that. But I wish you so much love, and I wish you the best. Thanks.